Hello, are you planning to move to or visit the great state of Florida soon, and you want to know how to drive on the roads and what to do? Well, here's a how-to guide to help you out. Stick around. Now the first thing to do is make sure your car is ready for the roads of Florida. And this means exhaust. If your car has no exhaust or a very loud one, that is perfect. Everyone needs to hear you coming. The louder, the better. Next thing is tinted windows. You want the blacker the better. You want to be completely blacked out. If someone can see through, your windows are not dark enough. And lastly, wheels. If your car has the regular wheels on it, this is not good enough. You want to find the biggest, shiniest wheels you can and put them on your car immediately, because stock wheels are for losers. Okay, now that your car's ready, let's get on the road. Now the first thing to remember is people in Florida drive on the right-hand side of the road. Unless you're on the highway, in which it's perfectly fine to cruise in the left-hand lane at whatever speed you fancy. This means that undertaking is perfectly legal, but that shouldn't mean you don't get annoyed at someone driving too slowly in the left-hand lane. Hand gestures of all such shapes and sizes are totally appropriate to use when driving in Florida. Now talking about speed, when you say speed sign, you must remember to add on at least 15 miles an hour to that speed and what you should be doing in your car. That sign is just a guide, and if you do not drive at least 15 miles per hour over that signpost, people behind you will be very upset. You must go faster than it if you want to drive correctly in Florida. Now the next thing to remember here is stop signs. Stop signs usually mean stop in most of the world, but in Florida it means just roll through and whoever got there first can go first, unless you're too slow in pulling away, and then someone will definitely pull out on you. So remember, stop doesn't always mean completely stop. Okay, the next rule is when pulling up to a set of stoplights or traffic lights, the yellow light stays on for quite a long time, which means you have quite a long time to actually get through the yellow light. But even when it changes to red, you're perfectly fine to roll through a few seconds after that. The cars aren't going to move moving straight away, and you don't want to be held up from your busy schedule. But you can turn right on a red in Florida, which is an amazing thing, and the rest of the world should introduce this, obviously if they drive on that side of the road. Now the rule to remember when turning right on a red light is to come to a complete stop before checking if the road is clear and then proceeding on with your journey. But obviously this is taken very lightly. The word stop here does not really mean stop, so just roll through and make sure no one's in your way. It'll be perfectly fine. So another thing you must remember is when you're coming up to a red stoplight in Florida and you cannot go through it, you must pull out your phone and immediately start scrolling, and do not look up from your phone until a couple of seconds after the light is green. This makes sure everyone moves at the same pace and no one gets too ahead of each other. You must scroll on your phone. Using your phone at a stop is legal in the state of Florida. Did you know this? I recently found this out. And this means that everyone moves away from the green light about 4 or 5 seconds after it's actually gone green, or after everyone has honked their horn at the person in front. But obviously everyone is scrolling on their phone, so the first person to honk is the first person who gets bored of their Facebook page. Now talking about speed limits again, the only time you must obey the speed limit is during a school zone. This seems to be the only time that people in Florida actually obey the reduced speed limit. All other times you must remember 15 miles per hour over will stop people behind you getting annoyed. Unless of course you see a police officer or a cop, as whenever people see them they are incredibly scared of them, and you must drive very slowly past them. Now let's talk about parking. Now walking is not advisable at all in Florida. You must drive literally as close as you can get to any building or establishment you wish to enter, for a risk of not being hit by a car. Now, if you manage to get a space as close as possible, do not worry about fitting between the white lines. They are also an advisory, like the stop sign or the red traffic light. As long as you are roughly over the space or close to the white line, Others will be able to fit around you. It's not like the spaces are considerably larger than other countries. You have plenty of room, but you just don't want to fit between those white lines. You will not fit in well. And what you must remember is to stay in your car as much as possible. If there is a drive-through, you must take the drive-through, even though it will take you much longer than just walking into the fast food restaurant or Starbucks to get your drink, because you must not get out of your car. Driving everywhere is a rule that must be followed. You do not want to look out of place, remember. So, I hope that guide was helpful and you now know how to drive properly in the great state of Florida. Good day.